Hello student, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, Unit and Measurement Lecture 2, I will discuss some topics related to error and accuracy and precision. Okay, so before make sure you have watched the first video of this lecture Unit and Measurement, so that you can understand next topic. So topics to be covered in this videos are accuracy, precision of instrument, and error in measurement, systematic errors and random errors, absolute error, relative error, and percentage error, combination of error in addition, subtraction, multiplication, and exponent. Okay, so let's start with accuracy, precision of instrument, and error in measurement. So what is error? Let's talk about error. Error is the result of every measurement by an measuring instrument contains some uncertainty. This uncertainty is called error. This measurement always have uncertainties. If you measure the thickness of the cover of book using an ordinary ruler, your measurement is reliable only to the nearest millimeter, and your result will be 3 millimeter. Okay, it would be wrong to state this result as 3.00 millimeter given the limitation of the measuring device. You cannot tell whether the actual thickness is 3.00 millimeter, 2.85 millimeter, or 3.11 millimeter if you use micrometer calipers, a device that measures distance reliably to the nearest 0.01 millimeter. So the result will be 2.91 millimeter. The distinction between these two measurement is called uncertainty. The measurement using micrometer calipers has a smaller uncertainty, so it is a more accurate measurement. The uncertainty also called error. Okay, so this was something about error. Now let's talk about accuracy. What is accuracy? So the accuracy of a measurement is measure of how close the measured value is to the true value of quantity. Okay, and precision tells us to what resolution or limit the quantity is measured. So first was accuracy. Accuracy means how measured value is close to true value. Okay, so let's take an example of accuracy. Suppose you are measuring amount of tea in a mug 3 times. Okay, so you obtain following results. The results are you obtain 100 milliliter, 116 milliliter, and 115 milliliter. Okay, 116 milliliter, 115 milliliter, 119 milliliter. So the actual value amount of the tea in this mug is 120 milliliter. Okay, so we see that 119 milliliter is 1 milliliter away from 120 milliliter, and 116 milliliter is away from 400 milliliter from 120 milliliter. Okay, and 150 milliliter is 5 milliliter away from 120 milliliter. So the values 100 milliliter is most accurate because this value is close to 120 milliliter, and 150 milliliter is least accurate. I hope this is clear to you. The more close the measured quantity to actual value, the more accurate the instrument. Okay. Now what is precision? Precision tells us to what resolution or limit the quantity is measured. Okay, so let's take example of precision. Suppose let the thickness of a sheet is 1.42 centimeter. And a researchers used two measuring devices, one measuring device with least count 0.1 centimeter and other with least count 0.01 centimeter to measure this thickness. Okay, so in the first case, value obtained was L1 equal to 1.4 centimeter, while in the second case the value was 1.45 centimeter. So the first value was more accurate because it was closer to true value than L2. However, L2 was more precise because this value has a greater resolution than previous value. Okay, so this is the precision. I hope accuracy and precision is clear to you. These are one more example. Suppose the true value of a certain length is near 2.874 centimeter. Okay, if one experiment using measuring instrument of resolution 0.1 centimeter. Okay, 0.1 centimeter is least count of that instrument. The measured value is found to be 2.7 centimeter, while in another experiment using a measuring device of greater resolution, say 0.01 centimeter, the length is determined to be 2.69 centimeter. Okay. 2.69 centimeter. Clear? So I hope this is clear to you. 2.69 centimeter. Suppose the true value of a certain length is 2.874 centimeter in one experiment using measuring instrument of resolution 0.1 centimeter. The measured value is 2.7 centimeter, while in another experiment by using a device of greater resolution, say 0.01 centimeter, the length is determined to be 2.69 centimeter. Okay, so the in first measurement, it has more accuracy because it is closer to true value. We have already discussed about what is accuracy. Accuracy tells us the how measured value close to true value. So in first case, it is more accurate because it is closer to true value, but less precision. Less precision means its resolution is only 0.1 centimeter. While in second measurement, it is less accurate but more precise because its resolution is 0.01 centimeter. Clear? So it was something about accuracy in and precision. Now, in general, the error in measurement can be broadly classified. Classification of error. Classification of error is first is error can be classified into two parts. One is systematic error and other one is random error. Error is classified into two parts, systematic error and random error. Okay. What is systematic error? Systematic error are those errors that tend to be in one direction, either positive or either negative. Okay. Systematic errors are errors which tend to shift all measurement in a systematic way. So their mean value is displaced. The measurement obtained is deviated consistently either too high or too low from the actual value. Okay, suppose 3% measures their weight 72.5, 56.0, 43.0. Actual weights of 3% are 72.0, 55.5 or 42.0. Okay. Uncertainty in scale is 0.5. So if we talk about first person, its actual weight was 72.0 and measured weight was 72.5. So error is 0.5. If we talk about second person, whose measured weight is 56.0 and actual weight is 55.5. So error is 0.5. Okay. Error is given by actual weight minus measured weight, measured value, actual value minus measured value. Okay. And in third person, in the case of third person, actual weight is given by 42.05 and measured weight is 43.0. So error is 0.5. We see that all these three cases, error is in constant 0.5. It is in same in one direction. So this is systematic error. Systematic error, the error occurs constantly in an experiment repeated under identical conditions. These errors come into existence by virtue of definite rule. Therefore, once the rule which governs these errors is identified, these errors can be eradicated by applying proper correction to the result obtained. Okay. Some of the sources of systematic errors are instrumental error. These can be further subclassified. Systematic error further classified into instrumental error that arise from the error due to imperfect design. Okay. Instrumental error due to imperfect design or calibration of the measuring instrument, zero error in the instrument, etc. Okay. For example, temperature graduate of a thermometer may be inadequately calibrated. It may read 104 degrees centigrade at the boiling point of water at STP, whereas it should be 100 degrees centigrade. Clear? In vernier calipers, the zero marks of vernier scale may not coincide with zero mark of the main scale. This is instrumental error. An ordinary meter scale may be worn off at one end. These are some examples of instrumental error. Second is imperfection technique or procedure. Imperfection technique or procedure. To determine temperature of a human body, a thermometer placed under the armpit will always give a temperature lower than the actual value. We have already see this. We have already did this experiment. Okay, when we put the thermometer under armpit, we always take a temperature lower than the actual value of the value of body temperature. Now, what is personal error? Personal error is this error arises due to an individual wise lack of proper setting of apparatus or individual carelessness in taking observation without observing proper precautions. When you perform any experiment in lab, you have to take some precautions. When you did not take any precautions, This is called personal error. Due to this errors, there is some uncertainty on measurement. Okay. Example, if you hold your head a bit too fast to the right while reading the position of a needle on the scale, you will introduce an error due to parallax. Okay. Systematic error can be minimized. How to minimize systematic error? So it can be minimized: improving experimental technique, selecting better instrument, removing personal bias as far as possible. Clear? Second is random error. So let's talk about random error. Random error are those errors which occur irregularly and hence are random with respect to sign and size. Okay. Random errors are those errors which occur irregularly and hence are random with respect to size and sign. Okay. Or we can say random error arises due to small change in the condition of experiment or incorrect observation in taking reading. Example, in finding the null point in the meter base or potentiometer experiment. Okay, in finding the null point in meter base or potentiometer experiment, if we take the reading of null point 3 or 4 times, we notice that there are some small variation in reading. This is an example of random error. Okay. It may arise due to change in condition of the experiment, such as heating effect of the current or fall in EMF of the cell. And another example of random error is, suppose you are measuring weight of a body by spring balance. Then there may be an error in assessing the correct position of the pointer or on the scale. So it may lie between two consecutive marking on the scale. Such an error due to incorrect judgment of the observer is called random error. Examples: when the same person repeats the same observation, it is very likely that he may get different reading every time. Okay. Next is least count error. What is least count error? Least count is the smallest value that can be measured by measuring instrument is called least count. Okay. The quality of measuring instrument is recognized by its least count. The least count of a measuring instrument is the smaller quantity which it is capable of measuring. For example, least count of an ordinary scale is 0.1 centimeter, and least count of vernier calipers is 0.01 centimeter, and for screw gauge is 0.001 centimeter, and for spirometer is 0.001 centimeter. Clear? Here are given some example. Vernier calipers least count is 0.01 centimeter, as I told you. Spirometer, for spirometer least count is 0.001 centimeter. Okay. And using instrument of higher precision, improving experimental technique, we can reduce the least count error. Okay. How do we reduce the least count error? By using instrument of higher precision. We have already discussed on this topic, precision and accuracy. So by using instrument of higher precision, improving experimental technique, we can reduce least count error. Repeating the observation several times and taking the arithmetic mean of all the observations, the mean value would be very close to the true value of the measured quantity. So I hope this is clear to you. Now let's talk about absolute error, relative error, and percentage error. First is absolute error. Absolute error is the magnitude of difference between individual measurement value and true value of quantity is called absolute error of the measurement. Clear? These are some method of minimizing random errors. Random error can be minimized by taking a large number of reading of the same quantity. Then it is very likely that the majority of reading may have small errors which might be positive or it might be negative. Error will be positive or negative depending upon whether the observed reading is above or below the correct value. Okay. The random error can be minimized by taking the arithmetic mean of large number of readings of the same quantity, and the mean will be very close to the correct value. Okay. So absolute error, relative error, and percentage error. How do we find the absolute error? Absolute error, it is the magnitude of the difference between individual measured value and the true value of quantity is called absolute error of the measurement. It is denoted by delta A, magnitude of delta A. In absence of any other method of knowing true value, we consider arithmetic mean as the true value. Okay, so the error in individual measurement values from the true values are delta A1 equal to A1 minus A mean. Okay, A mean is true value. A2 equal to delta A2 equal to A2 minus A mean. Relative absolute error is given by difference between individual measurement and the true value. Suppose individual measurement is given by A1, A2, A3, A4 and true value is given by A mean equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 upon divide by 3. We have 3 values suppose. So A mean is true value and absolute error delta A1 is given by A1 minus A mean. Delta A2 is given by A2 minus A mean and so on. Delta AN is given by AN minus A mean. Okay. So delta A calculate above may be positive or negative. Absolute error delta A will always be positive. I hope this is clear to you. So the arithmetic mean of all the absolute error is taken as the final or mean absolute error of the value of the physical quantity. So this is represented by delta A mean. Now taking arithmetic mean of the values, so we can write delta A mean equal to delta A1 plus delta A2 plus delta A3 plus so on delta AN divided by N. So we can write summation I equal to 1 to N delta AI divided by N. If we do a single measurement, the value we get is A mean plus minus delta A mean. This implies that any measurement of physical quantity is likely to lie between A mean plus delta A mean and A mean minus delta A mean. Clear? Now what is relative error? So relative error is defined as it is the ratio of mean absolute error to the mean value of the quantity measured. Relative error is the mean absolute error to the mean value of the quantity. It is given by relative error is equal to mean absolute error divided by true value or arithmetic mean. So we can write this equation delta A mean upon A mean. Percentage error. Percentage of relative error is called percentage error. When the relative error is expressed in percent, it is called percentage error. Percentage error is given by mean, absolute error upon true value or arithmetic mean multiply by 100. So percentage error is equal to delta A mean upon A mean into 100. I hope this is clear to you. Next is combination of error. In an experiment involving several measurements, the error in all measurement get combined. Okay. When a number of quantities are involved in the final calculation, then the errors associated with the measurement of all quantities will affect the end result. In this way, the error in final results depend upon the error in individual measurement or nature of the mathematical operation done on them to arrive at the final results. So we therefore need rules for calculating the combined error associated with different mathematical operations. So first is, we know that density is the ratio of mass to the volume of a substance. If there are error in the measurement of mass and the size or dimensions, then there will be error in the density of a substance. Clear? First is error of the sum. Suppose two physical quantities. We have two physical quantities, quantity A and quantity B. We have measured value A plus minus delta A, and we have measured value B plus minus delta B respectively. Where A is measured true value and delta A is uncertainty in measurement. Where B is true value, delta B is uncertainty in measurement. Okay. So where delta A and delta B are their absolute error. Let Z equal to A plus B. So we can write this equation Z plus delta Z equal to A plus delta A and B plus delta B. On solving this, A plus B plus minus delta A plus delta B. We know that A plus B equal to Z. So we can write Z plus minus delta A plus delta B. So from our equation, Z and Z cancel. So we can write delta Z equal to plus minus delta A plus delta B. Or we can write delta Z equal to delta A plus delta B. So when two quantities are added, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of individual error. I hope this is clear to you. Error in difference. We have two quantities A and B. Have measured value A plus delta A. B has value B plus minus delta B respectively, where delta A and delta B are their absolute error. Okay. So we know that let Z equal to A minus B. Z plus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A minus B plus minus delta B. Or we can write this equation A minus B plus minus delta A plus minus delta B. Or we can write this equation. We know that A minus B equal to Z. So Z and Z cancel. This equation can be written as delta Z equal to plus minus delta A plus delta B. Since plus minus and negative sign are plus minus sign are same. Or we can write this equation delta Z equal to delta A plus delta B. So when two quantities are subtracted, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the individual error. Okay. Rules when two quantities are added or subtracted, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the absolute error in the individual result. I hope this is clear to you. When two quantities are added or subtracted, their absolute error will be the sum of absolute error in the individual quantities. Okay. Now error in product. Suppose we have two quantities A and B. they have measured values a plus minus delta a, b plus minus delta b respectively, where delta a and delta b are their absolute error. Okay, so let z equal to a multiply by b. Z plus delta z equal to a plus minus delta e multiply b plus minus delta b. So on multiplying this equation, we will get AB plus minus A delta B plus minus B delta A plus minus A delta B. On dividing that both sides, we will get, on dividing LHS by Z and RHS by AB, we will get 1 plus delta Z upon Z equal to 1 plus minus delta B upon B plus minus delta A upon A plus minus delta A delta B upon AB. Okay, so on solving our equation, it will come out delta Z upon Z equal to plus minus delta B upon B plus minus delta A upon A. Since delta A delta B upon AB is very small and it can be neglected. Okay, so we will get equation delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A plus delta B upon B. So when two quantities are multiplied, the relative error in the final result is the sum of the relative error of the individual result. Okay. Next is error in product. This is the another method to find the error in product. So we have two quantities A and B. Their measurements are A plus delta A and B plus minus delta B, where delta A and delta B are their absolute error. Okay. And Z equal to A cross B. Applying log, on taking log both sides. So we get log Z equal to log A plus log B. Apply the condition of log. Log A cross B is given by log A plus log B. And now differentiating this equation, we know that differentiation of log x equal to 1 upon x. So differentiation of log Z is 1 upon Z. So we can write this equation delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A plus delta B upon B. Since differentiation of log A is 1 upon A, differentiation of log B is 1 upon B, it can be written delta A upon A plus delta B upon B. Now error in quotient. Suppose two physical quantities A and B have measured values A plus delta A and B plus delta B respectively. Okay, where delta A and delta B are their absolute error. So Z can be written as Z equal to A upon B. Here we can write Z equal to A upon B. Z equal to, can be written Z equal to A divided by B. Okay. Or we can write Z plus delta Z equal to A plus delta A upon B plus delta B. Or it can be written Z plus delta Z equal to A plus delta A upon B in bracket 1 plus minus A delta B upon B. We can write above equation Z plus delta Z equal to A plus delta A upon B, or 1 plus minus delta B upon B minus 1. Here, or Z plus delta Z equal to, we can write this equation A upon B plus minus delta A upon delta B from this term. And using binomial theorem, we get 1 plus minus delta B upon B. Binomial theorem is 1 plus x raised to power n equal to 1 plus nx plus n into n minus 1 upon factorial 2. So by using this theorem, it will be Z plus minus delta Z equal to A upon B plus minus A upon B into delta B upon B plus minus delta A upon B plus minus delta A upon B into delta B upon B. So on dividing LHS by Z and RHS by A upon B and simplifying, we will get delta Z upon Z equal to delta B upon B plus delta A upon A. Since delta A and delta B upon B square is very small, so it is neglect. So this equation is come up. This equation will be delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A plus delta B upon B. So when two quantities are divided, the relative error in the final result is the sum of the relative error of the individual result. I hope this is clear to you. Another method, error in quotient is given by we have two quantities A and B. Their measurements are A plus delta A and B plus delta B, where delta A and delta B are their absolute error. Okay, so Z equal to A upon B, applying log on both sides. So we will get log Z equal to log A upon B. Log A upon B can be written as log A minus log B. So we can write log Z equal to log A minus log B. On differentiating this equation, we will get delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A minus delta B upon B, as we have done in previous case. Okay. So logically, an error cannot be nullified by making another error. Therefore, errors are not subtracted but only added up. So it can be written as delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A plus delta B upon B. I hope this is clear to you. So rule, when two quantities are multiplied or divided, the relative error in the final result is the sum of their relative errors in the individual quantities. We have two rules. Third one is error in exponent. Suppose quantity A has measured value A plus delta A, where delta A is the absolute error. So Z can be written as Z equal to A raised to power P, where P is constant. Okay. So Z equal to, we can write Z equal to A multiplied by A multiplied by A raised to power A. It is P times. So we can write this equation Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A into A plus minus delta A, so on A plus minus delta A P times. So we can write delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A plus delta A upon A up to delta A upon A P time as per the product rule of the error. So it can be written as delta Z upon Z equal to P delta A upon A, where P is constant. So P is the negative. P is taken because error due to P is always taken positive, because error due to multiple quantities get added up. I hope this is clear to you. So rule, the relative error in physical quantity raised to the power P is given by P is the P times the relative error in the individual quantity. I hope this is clear to you. If you are asked error in C, C is the quantity which has C equal to P square into Q square. So relative error given by C equal to delta C upon C equal to P square 2 into delta P upon P plus Q square 2 into delta Q upon Q. Okay. Another method, find the exponent power. Suppose physical quantity A measured value A plus minus delta A, where delta A is the absolute error. So delta, so it can be written as Z equal to A raised to power P, where P is constant. On applying log both sides, we will get log Z equal to P log A. Okay, where P is positive or negative, error due to multiple quantities get added up. Okay. Please get added up. There is some problem. So suppose two physical quantities A and B have measured values A plus minus delta A, B plus minus delta B respectively, while delta A and delta B are their absolute error. So delta Z equal to A upon B, applying log on both sides, we will get log Z equal to log A minus log B. So differentiating, we will get delta Z equal to delta A upon A minus delta B upon B. Logically, error can be nullified by making another error. So it can be delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A plus delta B upon B. Okay. So two quantities are multiplied or divided by rule. Relative error in the final result is the sum of the relative error in the individual results. So I hope these points are clear to you. We have already discussed about the error in exponent power, which is given by Z equal to delta Z upon Z equal to P delta A upon A. P is negative, P is taken because error due to multiple quantities get added up. So relative error in physical quantity raised to the power P is the P times the relative error in the individual quantity. Okay. Error in exponent, another method is given by, we have physical quantities Z equal to A raised to power P, where on applying log both sides, so we can write log Z equal to P log A. On differentiating this equation, we will get it is delta Z upon Z equal to P delta A upon A. In general, if Z equal to A raised to power P into B raised to power Q upon C raised to power R, then if you are given some quantities, then you are asked the relative error in this quantity Z equal to A raised to power P into B raised to power Q upon CR. Then relative error is given by delta Z upon Z equal to P delta A upon A plus Q into delta B upon B plus R into delta C upon C. I hope this is clear to you, where C raised to power R is the denominator, but the relative error is added up. Okay. So these are some problems related to error. First problem is given by, we measure the period of oscillation for a simple pendulum. In successive measurement, the reading turned out to be 2.63, 2.56 second, 2.42 second, 2.71 second, and 2.80 second. You have to find the calculate the absolute error, relative error, and percentage error. So absolute error is the difference between true value and measured value. So first find the true value. How to find true value? True value will be the arithmetic sum of the measured value. 2.63 plus 2.56 plus 2.42 plus 2.71 plus 2.80 divide by 5. So it will be true value. Now find the absolute error, delta A1, delta A2, delta A3, and then mean of absolute error, and find the relative error. Relative error will be given by mean absolute error upon absolute value. Okay. And percentage error, percentage error will be given by percentage of the relative error. Okay. Next question is given, a student measure thickness of a seed. Okay, student measure thickness of a seed with the help of screw. Okay, reading taken by him were 0.932, 0.975, 1.016, 1.026,
and 0.947 centimeter. Now find the mean value of thickness, mean absolute error, or fractional error or percentage error. So how to solve this question? You have to find mean value of thickness. Okay, mean value of thickness. So first, find the number of observations. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 5 number of observations. Find the observed value. So mean is given by 0.932 plus 0.975 plus 1.016 plus 1.026 plus 0.947 divide by 5. Okay. Now find the absolute error. Absolute error is the difference of true value and measured value. It will be delta A1, delta A2, delta A3 up to delta A5. And mean absolute error is sum of absolute error divided by 5. Okay. Now fractional error is given by fractional error is the relative error, and percentage error is the percentage of the relative error. Try to solve these questions. And there is another example. C equal to P square PQ into Q square plus R raised to power 3 by 2 S raised to power minus 4 by 5. Find the relative error associated with C. Okay. So this is solved example. In this, on solving this we will get delta C upon C equal to 3 delta P upon P plus 2 delta P upon Q plus 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is the power of R. So 3 by 2 delta R upon R, and here power of S is minus 4 by 5. So we can write minus 4 by 5 delta S upon S. Okay. Now next question is the temperature of two bodies measured by thermometer are T1 20 degrees centigrade plus minus 0.5 degrees centigrade, and T2 is given by 50 degrees centigrade plus minus 0.5 degrees centigrade. Now calculate the temperature difference and the error therein. Okay. For this, temperature difference is given by delta T equal to T2 minus T1. You can write delta T equal to T2 minus T1. You know the value of T2 and T1, and you will get the result. Okay. Next is for simple pendulum of length 50 centimeter plus minus 0.5 centimeter. The time period for 100 oscillation is found to be 50 seconds. When observed using a stopwatch having resolution of 1 second, find the accuracy in determination of T. So we know the formula T equal to 2 pi under root L upon T, 2 pi root L upon. Make the formula of G using this equation. You will get G is given by small g is the acceleration due to gravity is given by G equal to 4 pi square L upon G square. Using the law of combination of error and find the value of error in G. Okay. Yeah. Now next question, length, breadth of rectangular field are measured to be 25.2 meter plus minus 0.5 meter and 80.6 meter plus minus 0.8 meter respectively. Find the area of rectangular field within the limit of error. Also find the percentage error. So we know that area is given by A into B multiply, and using the combination law of multiplication. Okay, you will get the answer. And last question is two resistors of resistance R1 and R2 is given by these two values connected in series and parallel. Find the equivalent resistance of series combination and parallel combination, and use the relation R equal to R1 plus R2 for series combination, and 1 upon R1 equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 for parallel combination, and delta R dash upon R1 square equal to delta R1 upon R1 square plus delta R2 upon R2 square. use these relation and find the answer. So I hope these points are clear to you. If you have any queries, any question, just write in comment box and ask. Thank you.